Love is blind.
There's a lot of. First of all, there's so much stuff that went on at the beginning, and in the middle, and now what's going on. Like, I wish we could have talked about the relationships of what we thought they were going to be like, and what they ended up being like. You know what I mean? But say a lot of you.
I mean, you can touch on it.
So let's just say this. There were 7 couples. Okay, what is it? Love is Blind DC.
Mm-hmm. Season 7.
And initially there were 7 couples. Now there are 5. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, now there are 5. Again, I was hoping when I heard Love is Blind DC, I was like, ooh, Chocolate City. We're gonna have a lot of people that look like us.
There were a whole bunch of men.
There were, but a lot of the people were either from Baltimore. I mean, but again, it's the DMV.
Yeah,
so, here we are.
Respect Baltimore.
Yeah. So I'm gonna run down the list of the couples that got proposed to and linked up. So we've got Garrett and Taylor.
Quick shout out to my ladies in Portugal who are on like 3 or 4 girls. They're on a trip to Portugal that I told them I would send the podcast to. We have a little Instagram little section now because I said, "Oh, you guys watch Love and Blind?" I said, "We have a podcast." Really? I just watched this. I was like, "Just wait till we talk about it." So shout out to you ladies, Portugal in the house. Lisbon in the house.
Portugal is in the house. I saw the ladies. They look fabulous.
Yes, they
fabulous.
Chin
Not those ladies, but another group of ladies. But
well, all them ladies look good.
That's
sorry.
Hey, cheers to you, ladies, and once it's posted, we'll follow us and we'll follow you back.
So
what was the breakdown you was about to give, Tanya?
Oh, I was just going to give a breakdown of the couples. Okay. So we have Garrett and Taylor, the 2 nerds.
Right.
Then we have Ashley A. and Tyler. Black Jesus.
Just go.
I'm keeping it going. Then we have Marissa and Ramses. Brittany and Leo. Alex and Tim.
Well, Brittany and Leo. Who's Brittany and Leo? Who's Brittany and Leo?
We'll get to that.
Okay.
Alex and Tim.
Brittany and Leo.
Hannah and Nikki D. And then Steven and Monica.
Okay.
So I've highlighted the 2 couples that are no longer with us. So why don't we just start with Brittany and Leo? And I'd like to again thank Netflix for doing their due diligence like they did with, I think they did it with, what was the last foreign Love is Blind that we watched?
When they asked
Mexico?
Asked the couple not to.
It was Mexico. Yep. Yeah. When Love is Blind Mexico, when the couple, they met each other and it was like, we already knew that this wasn't going nowhere. And they put up the disclaimer that they have been, or no, it said it, the announcer, the producer said it and was like, yeah, you're no longer going to continue on in this process, which I loved. This one with Brittany and Leo, we already knew that was a given. Once they came to each other, I was like, yeah, no, this is not going to happen.
Who is Brittany and Leo. Oh yeah, Leo was a.
Leo, the one that
I know he is.
I don't like to talk about money, but always talks about how much money he has.
Yes, exactly.
His Rolex. He was like obnoxious. And
really?
Just seemed like he was just empty.
And even with his Michigans with Hannah too. You know how he's dealing with Hannah. Let that girl go. Let that girl go. Focus on Brittany. And can you tell Brittany I love her? Like, he was just insecure, totally
That was
insecure.
wild.
Yeah. Well, he went off on Hannah when Hannah decided that she was going to go with Nick. He kind of imploded,
Right, because
and
it was
was like,
competition now. It was competition.
right,
Nothing to do with her.
exactly. But he was like borderline begging. Like it was not a good look for Leo.
No.
Like he was upset, but yet he was also begging her, like, what is it with me? And da 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 da. And I'm just like, ew. Like,
shout out to Lucia, Gabby, Casey, and Libby.
Those are your Portugal friends.
Those are the Portugal girls that are listening.
Okay.
So Leo was not. He was just obnoxious, insecure. Just ugh.
Yeah, let's move on from them because we have so much to talk about.
Let's go.
With the other couples who actually
Let's go.
So who do you want to start with? But before we start with the next couple, say your friends' names again, Chris, because when you said it, we didn't catch it.
It was Lucia.
Hey, Lucia.
Gabby, Casey.
Hey, Gab.
And Libby.
Libby and Tracy.
Casey.
Hey, Casey. Hey, Libby. Hello, ladies. All right, we'll touch base with you in the future.
Anyway, so
we're done with Brittany and Leo because they're not even worth our time.
Yeah.
You want to go to Hannah then? Hannah and because it's like the same.
Hannah and Nikki Dorka.
That ain't gonna work at all.
No.
She is demeaning. She is. Yeah. He is not that smart. Is it that it's not that smart, or he's just kind of like simple to not know how to boil a pot of water?
I mean, she's hovering over him.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He can't boil it. He can't boil. He doesn't know how much to boil a pot of, what to do to boil. I mean,
he didn't know what to do to boil. I know he was like, what should I put? Like 3/4. I mean, he's asking a reasonable question.
No,
come on. That was that. I mean, that boy.
There's nothing.
If you say, babe,
asking a reasonable question.
If you said, babe, put on some water, boil some water. I'm gonna make some pasta. Would you have to tell someone how to do that?
Well, he might. Do you want it full or do you want
Shahidah, if you told your man, I'm making pasta, put on a pot of boiling water, and I'm going to make sure the other stuff's going, and he's going to you, so you want me to put it halfway through, or do I put it on the burnt?
No. Let me tell you something. I get what you're saying, but when I was 20, how old is he? He's 25.
No. He is 28 years old,
He's a grown man.
He's a grown man. He's 28 years old.
He's a grown man.
Yes.
Okay. He should know that. He should know better. Boiling a pot of water? At 28, you should be able to make one thing. If it's one thing, and pasta is the easiest thing to make. You can't make pasta? You can't make pasta.
You can fuck it up.
He's not even making the pasta. He's just boiling the water.
Just boiling the water, and she's taking it from here.
Full or 1/4 water? I get the question.
I can't believe we are having this debate with you, Shahidah.
I get the question. I'm not making no excuses for this man because he just seems like a boy. But I get the question.
I don't get the question.
Or 1/4 of a pot. See, I think I get the question.
I don't get the question. If you are an adult and that is basic shit. It's as basic as washing your ass.
No, it's not. It absolutely is.
It's
not.
basic. It's
basic. To boil a
pot of water.
Pasta.
No, how hard is it to boil water? We take the pasta out of the equation.
But that's what he's
How hard is it to say, babe? Can you put some water in a pot and put it on the stove and bring it to boil?
Full, or do you want?
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about right now. Now you're making me angry, and now I'm starting to get fucking really mad because now you're trying to be devil's advocate, and I think you're just fucking with us.
I'm not. I am. I swear to God, I am.
That's just disrespectful.
I understand.
If you can't put water in a pot If I have to show you how to fill a pot with
You have
water,
to show me just like how much do you
no,
want?
we're not having questions.
Do
No,
you
don't
want
ask me
it
no questions about
full,
that.
or do
Don't
you
ask me
want it a
questions about that.
quarter
No,
full? I
no,
get the question.
no, I don't get it. I will say
So
this.
moving on.
Nick is a man boy who lives in
Mhm.
his parents' basement, and his parents, I fault his parents for the reason why he is the way that he is, because they raised him to continue to be a man boy living in their house. He don't pay nothing. He's still on the family insurance. He's still on the family cell phone plan. Please. And they should be embarrassed. If I was Nick's parents, I would be embarrassed. They should be shamed and embarrassed. You are raising a whole grown ass man in this world in 2024, and he is still on the tit. And that is not a good look. They are polar opposites because obviously Hannah already said, I was put out or I was on my own since the age of 18. There's a reason why Hannah is the way
You
that
said
she is.
15.
She's had to figure it out on her own. And she's looking at this dude. She has her own ass apartment, living her full ass life, and she's going into this man's basement. And then when he basically perpetrated a fraud. When they were in the pods, he was, diarrhea in the mouth of how he lives and how he has it, and told her he has a pool table. And when he gets to the basement, she called him out. And I was like, thank you, Hannah.
Yeah,
because he's like,
but
yeah, the pool table's there with all the stacks of friggin' shit around.
she's also disrespected though. She disrespects him a lot.
And the whole thing, I agree everything that you guys are saying about him being a man boy and he should have more responsibility. I hope he washes his own clothes at home. I don't know.
He probably
But
doesn't.
also, when people like, oh, I've been on my own, I've been doing everything since I was 15 years old. 15 is very young, but whatever. Don't get mad at him because his parents support him. Don't get mad at him because his parents support him
I'm not mad
and
at him.
they threw you out to the fucking woods at 15 years old.
Yeah, but he should know some. If he's gonna be living at home and doing all that stuff,
So
he should watch
basic
his mother
stuff.
cook maybe once or twice. Because obviously his mother can cook. He should
I
be able to watch his mother cook and do some basic things as a man to cook a fucking meal. She wasn't
And
even
as a
asking him to cook a meal. She said, "Can you just boil some fucking water?" And I understand her getting upset and terse over that. But on top of that, she's just sick of him because he can't do
she don't
anything.
like him.
He can't do anything. She don't like him.
When she asked
She
him
And
don't
she
like
if
him.
definitely
he
doesn't
had
respect him.
mount the TV and he said no, I'm like, sir, I would have lied and said, yeah, I can read the fucking instructions and mount the TV. Don't say no to every single thing. I can accept it if you can't cook. If you can't cook, okay, I get it. I can't cook. Well, I couldn't cook when I was 20. I get it. But you need to be able to know what a Phillips screwdriver is. You need to know some basic hand stuff as a man, especially if you're talking about getting married. Who's gonna fix stuff?
He doesn't.
You can't all be
Not
like,
him.
Not for nothing.
She's gonna do
I could
everything.
see. I could see if his dad, if he was living in his mother's house and they were divorced and dad is out the picture. Dad is full on in, and his own father ain't showed him nothing as a man. Like, shame on him more so than the mother. Shame on him. You don't know how to mount a TV. You don't know how to do basic shit when it comes to screwing in shit in a wall, like getting a fucking, what do you call them things? The
Stud
shit that
finder?
the levelers that level it out the wall that you can know where to put the goddamn, screw in the wall. I mean, it don't make no sense. He
that's
is
not
not
dating the
prepared.
guy.
Anyway.
Prepared to be a husband, let alone Hannah's husband. He's not prepared to be anybody's husband, and he's going to continue to live in his parents' basement. My favorite clip of that was when he's like, gave her his business card, and he's like, "Oh, here, when if you or anybody want to buy some real estate, call Nick Dorker, real estate agent." And she's like, "Yeah, okay." And as he was walking away from her, she put that card right back down in that stack of cards. Like, really, motherfucker? You are on your parents' cell phone plan. Like, I'm gonna buy a house from you? No. I don't
Well,
like him.
Just because he's living
And I
at home
don't.
does not mean he can't sell a house. But that being said, she belittles. She doesn't respect him at
He's a
all.
horrible person.
And
At
guess what?
all.
I would be just like Hannah. If I was in Hannah's
Well, she
position
picked
and met
him.
him and met him after all the bullshit he was saying to her in the pods, making himself better than what he was. Um, Once I would have met him and
How
finally
did
saw
he
what
make
he
himself
truly
better
was,
than what he
because he
was?
was saying he was a professional football
He
player.
was.
He was.
Okay, so where's your money? Why are you still living in your
He
parents'
said he
basement?
was traveling a lot and it made no sense to spend his money renting someplace when he wasn't home.
No, I'm
So he was
sorry.
living
I
there.
just, I'm just sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You are a grown ass man. If you're
But
making
that's on the
some
women.
money,
Do
get
they
your own
ask
spot.
the
Be
right
comfortable.
questions? Right? So, oh, you're a professional football player and you're like, okay, so you travel. Where do you live? Why didn't she ever ask him, where do you
True.
live?
Well, because maybe he was fluffing himself up so hard that she just assumed. Because that would have been
No,
me.
Don't
I would
no,
assume
it
assume.
wasn't on
that he
him.
had his own place.
Tanya, it's not on him. It's on her. He said everything that he said was true. He was a professional football player. He is a realtor. He does this, that, and the other. But if you ask one more question after that, best football player, did you make any money? No, I didn't. I played for he even said I played for the Canadian Football League, and then no, it didn't work out. So he's not. But he did play football, and then he
She
gets
Okay,
didn't
the,
ask any
here's
real
the thing.
questions in that pod. She was playing fucking games like most of them were. No real
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah, there were no like really serious hardcore questions. I would have. Let me just say this. Yeah, you're right. She is playing games because right off the rip, he would have been cut off. Like as soon as we got out the pods, and I started seeing like how, as soon as I saw where he lived, and you in Mama's house, and the way that he walked in the house, and his parents weren't there, as if like it was like I'm like, where's your parents? Like they came later, but I'm like, bro, where's your parents? So they gave you the respect so that you can kind of like do the whole house showing without them being there. I would have walked out immediately. I would have been like, yeah, no, I am not going to be a woman that lives independently, fucking with a dude that's living in his fucking parents' house. Nah. If I was Hannah, I would have been gone. I ain't that desperate to be in a goddamn relationship. Fuck that shit.
but
How
she
So
is
old,
she should have gone.
how
she
old is Hannah?
26. She's young.
Oh.
She's young, but
Mhm.
she got a serious. She's way too mature for him in terms of
Yeah.
and what she had. No, listen, in terms of where she is in life, but in terms of maturity about how she's thinking, she's very immature. You see what I'm saying?
Where is she in life?
Agreed.
Where is she in life? Like I
She
know she has
she
her own
lives on
apartment.
her own. She obviously does stocks. She has a
Mhm.
job. She cleans up after
Yep.
herself. She's an independent woman at
Yep.
26. So she has most of her female adult stuff together. Now her mentality and who she is as a young woman is not
Mhm.
there. She's still
I agree.
kind of like, she's 26. You know what I mean? But she's acting like she's 23, 24.
Yeah.
So, but in terms of young woman wise, she had almost like she's 29, 30 because she has everything together. She's been on her own since 15.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Yeah, I she could have all those things together in a document. I just don't believe a lot of what these people say, especially since she didn't ask any real questions. So I just wonder how much of herself she really has together. Because if you're really looking for marriage, you're looking for that. I think she's in it for the social status. She wants to be a
Yeah.
social influencer, and she kind of said that and alluded to that.
Yes.
So I think that's what she was in there for. So what her job is, and I mean, anybody can have an apartment. Anybody can have an apartment. Like,
Except
see,
for her fiance.
Yeah. No, I
right, but
every
I
point.
mean, but that could be a smart decision on his part. He's in real estate. He knows what real estate is, and he could be saving for what he wants. 28 years old, you might not even have it. I didn't have my own apartment. Well, at 28 years old, I was back home, and I
Yeah,
didn't
but
buy my own house until I was 30.
your situation is
It's a different
completely
situation.
That's a different situation. You can't even throw your situation into that hat. No, I don't think any of us can. But at the end of the day, I get it I agree with you in that she's looking at it as a social climb, like a
Yes,
clout thing. Because now
definitely.
she's now if you see her, I've seen her on TikTok, and she's dropped 35 pounds, maybe 40.
Ozempic.
She looks like a whole snack, and she's got some
She
hair
does not look
extensions.
like a whole
She don't,
snack.
she don't even, but she looks like a whole snack compared to what she's looking like on
Mm.
like she looked like on Love Is Blind. Let's
I'm
just
glad
say that.
somebody took those greasy ponytails out of her head
Right.
because that was a hot mess.
Who did?
And she
Because
got some
in the
extensions.
outfits that she was wearing on Love Is Blind, it was like low key giving me like, where's the banjo, bitch? Like meow, 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 meow,
No,
meow,
it seemed like
meow, meow.
Forever 21. That's what it seemed like. A lot of
Yeah,
Forever 21.
it just
Not
seemed
even a
too.
good Forever 21.
Yeah, no, it just seemed ugh. And now you see her, when I see her on TikTok, she is glammed to the gods. She's got her tape-ins in, like she's got her long hair. She's skinny. I don't know if it's Ozempic. I don't know if she went on a hardcore crash diet, which probably
She
not.
did.
Yeah,
She said she's been struggling
probably
with her weight since she was 8 years old.
yeah. But she's literally doesn't look like the same person. She looks like a whole separate person.
She got a whole lot of work done. And
Yes, she did.
I still would like to see what her back looks like because what did you do with those shoulders? Because
Ciao. That's what
I
I'm
know,
saying.
but my thing with her, I didn't like her. Nick, he seems like a decent enough guy.
Yeah,
Definitely spoiled. Definitely not ready,
yeah,
but decent.
right.
But a decent
And you
person.
don't treat him that way.
He doesn't seem like a decent person, and
Yeah.
that's why I'm pretty much. So I'm not sticking up for him because no, grow up. You have to grow up. But at least he's decent. His parents raised a decent human being.
Yes.
She's an asshole.
Yeah. And
Who's
even
next?
her friend,
They
was that her brother
raised
or
a
is her friend who
king,
said she,
Yeah,
but
her
they raised
brother.
her
an
brother,
android.
even brother said she's an asshole. So
She's not nice,
not nice at all.
and she ain't cute. But go ahead. Who's next?
Um, there's Hannah and Nikki D. Let's talk
Garrett, you
about
want to do Garrett and
let's
Taylor?
talk about Garrett and Taylor, the two nerds. What
I
is
love
he?
them.
I like them.
I do
I
too.
think I think they
She
might be
is
their own
gorgeous
anime.
with her pocket full of freckles all over her face.
She's
I didn't
adorable.
see that in the pot.
Yeah, she's cute.
A
I
cute
like
woman.
her.
But her
I like her.
personality, she has a great personality. Both of them, one thing I like about both of them is they just seem happy.
And
And that's
mature. They seem mature.
happy and mature, whereas the little stuff is not worth it. Because I was nervous because when you saw the preview before, it looked like they were breaking up, but it was another couple.
Yeah.
And I liked, her the stuff that she said to his family, acknowledging that. So I just think they're a really good couple.
And one thing about them that I really love is the fact that they're both, they're both not afraid to speak their measured scientific mind feelings to each other. When their friends were like, Garrett, you would move across the country. She's like, no one I've ever met before. I would do anything I want to be with her. I would, if that's what I have to do. I don't want to do it, but that's what I have to do. Then I'll do it. And you got it for her. She's like, you got to respect that that man is saying all the right things to say. We'll get into some
Yeah.
other people who's trying to say the right things, but not saying the right things. But he's saying as a genuine all the right things as a man in this situation, both being realistic about maybe delaying the wedding or the family's not into it. And he was like, look, I'm a grown man. I love my family. I can make my own decisions. I'm not going to make a decision lightly. And she's the same way. They know how scientific, and they're not all flighty. Oh, I love you. They're like, this is what we want. This is what we have to do in order to be together. Because he said, I will never meet someone like you again. And she's like, I'll never meet someone like you again. And they
Yeah.
are perfectly
He's the
matched.
older
They
one.
tease each other. That's important. They don't
Yeah.
take each other. They have differences. Yes, they have differences, But they're like, well, we got to figure out our differences because I want to be with you, and she's like, I want to be with you. That's the beautiful part about that whole relationship and how a relationship should be. Period.
Yep.
And I think their age is a major factor too, because I think both of them, like what, early 30s, mid 30s.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so they've gone to school, they've gotten, they're working in the field that they both love. So they have jobs that they like, and then so they only complement each other on that end. So I feel like with them compared to the other couples, even though in the pod I didn't see them having like deep conversations, like some questions, I feel like some questions need to be basic at this point, but they didn't ask those questions, but they connected on, like you said, just a higher level, and they were very compatible, which you don't see that
Yeah.
kind of compatibility.
Yeah. I literally I took no notes on them because I
Yeah,
just liked
yeah,
them. I had
they're a
nothing.
good
It
couple.
was nothing that stood out to me. Um, that like raised any type of like ooh red flag between him or nor his family with regards to her. Um, so yeah, I think barring anything between now and the wedding time, if obviously shit comes up, so I foresee them being really good because they really have a really good relationship, and I respected the fact, and we might as well move on to that couple. I loved how the whole Monica Stevens situation played out. And then when that shit came down, when that shit came to a head, like it was Taylor consoling Monica, and then at the end when Steven was gone, Garrett, they came as a couple and sat down with Monica, and he just was like sat there and he's like, "We're here for you." That I was like, you know what? That's a good couple right there.
Mm-hmm.
Because as a fiance, girlfriend, whatever, you should be able to say to your man, you know what, my girl is going through it
No,
right now.
and you know who she is, and you know who he is, and instead
Right.
of him going, I'm not going to get into it. I'm not taking sides, which I got a lot of guys would do. I'm not going to take sides. I'm not going to get in it. He was like, okay, well, let me be there for my wife, my fiance
That's
first.
right. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I love the fact that he showed up with her and literally had supported Monica. So on that note, let's go to Monica and Akuba. Let's just go to Akuba Stephen Wantande, the African.
So what's confusing to me? He's at a sleep session, apnea sleep thing, and he started texting someone. And how did she find out?
She was on a podcast. Well, first of all, you guys literally totally missed my cute little joke when I called him,
No,
you
I
know,
heard it.
No, the African
Yeah, we
name.
got it.
No,
We
I
got
got
it.
it.
because he was so proud of himself
Yeah.
and so into his blackness when he
And I was
realized.
not impressed with that at
But
all.
here's all I'm going to say about that. He was like, my sister did the DNA testing, and my sister found out that, she was this, and this, and this. And I'm saying to myself, so you just accepted that you're that way? First of all, your mama lied to you all your life, told you that you had Italian in you, to the point that you put the Italian flag on your ring. So what is it? I wouldn't put it past your mama to lie and say who the hell your daddy is. Your sister might be African descent, but are you? You might not. That might not be your daddy.
That boy's got African. That boy's. You can see that African, like with that curly
Oh,
hair and that broad nose.
yeah, but whatever. Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm gonna throw that on his mama. Maybe his mama been lying all her life. So is he really African, bro? You might want to go get an ancestry DNA test and not listen to your sister. I'm just saying, because that sister may not really well be your sister, Maury Povich. Anyway, so she was on a podcast. Back to the sexting. She was on a podcast. I saw it. Nick Vial. Let me just give Nick Vial a shout out. He was on The Bachelor, and now he has a podcast. And Nick Vial is getting all the tea before the shit comes out on Netflix with the reunion. We ain't even had weddings yet, and he's already getting these people on his podcast spilling all the tea. So he had Monica on his podcast, and she basically said that he went to a sleep study. Yeah, he went to a sleep study, whatever. Then he came back home and he went into the other room, or he went to go take a shower, and his phone started going off or what have you. And she's like, babe, your phone, I'm gonna grab your phone again. I'm a firm believer of, don't pick up somebody else's shit. Be careful what you wish for, because you're gonna see the shit that you don't want to see, basically. So she ended up picking up his phone, thinking, oh, they were doing something. They were gonna do something. That's what she said. They were supposed to do something with another couple, and the couple was supposed to text them. So that's why she picked up his phone, because his phone went ding, and she's like, oh, I'm gonna grab your phone, honey, and da 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 da. And she picked it up, and it was some woman, and they were literally sexting. Like, I don't know if they were sending pictures, but it was just like sexting of what he likes and what she wants him to do to her, what he wants her to do to him. But I'm like, Monica, why are you surprised? He's been telling you this the entire time.
He's a freak.
He say, treat me like a piece of meat. If the
He's,
wind blows in the wrong direction, I got a boner. This man is all about the freakily.
What about the pegging?
When he brought up the pegging, I was like, shut your damn mouth. Yes, he brought up the pegging.
I agree with that. But she was horrible. She was horrible.
She was another fiance that did not like him. It was clear she did not like him, the way she looked at him, the way that she would tell him to be quiet.
But she, again, in the pods, she picked him. He threw up several red flags in the pod, and I don't know if people think that they can change people, or that those little things don't add up to big things. But there was several things that he said that I thought was, like, borderline disrespectful in the pods.
Like what? Like what did he say was borderline?
Like, what did he call her? He called her a name, and she was cool with it, but I was just like, ugh, no, it gave me the ick. And my dad, I voted for Trump. I get it, but when he came
the
back,
first time.
But I understood, like, the second time, how horrible he was as a president. So he learned. But you voted for him, as he was horrible before. In 2016, he was disgusting, and you couldn't separate that because you claim you hated Hillary. That's a red flag for me.
Here's how I took it. I saw, of course, my red flags went up immediately when he's like, oh, yeah, I voted for Trump. And I was like, ooh. And how you going to, like, you just can't, like, I'm a firm believer of tigers can't change their spots, or cheetahs can't change their spots. You like what you like. And I'm thinking that he got that. See, it goes back to the whole DNA ancestry thing. Like, now he done found out he was like, got some Senegal, like he's like a third of Senegal, a third of Nigerian, and a third of West African. So he's basically like 80% African. And now you like,
I don't believe
I'm not feeling Trump for none of that.
8 maybe, yeah. I don't see 80%. That's crazy.
No.
But what he said about voting for Trump or whatever, I get it. What he said, in the beginning, because so many white men do not like women, especially Hillary. The game on her was strong. But I'm with you, Tanya. You saw clearly who this person was, and you still decided to vote for him. I'm not getting over that. And as a Black woman,
that's right.
She gave me the ick too, because I'm like, you didn't even stand up for yourself in that moment. But what the hell did he call her? God damn it, I should have wrote it down. I can't remember.
You sure should have. I'm like, through my notes, and I'm like, what the hell?
He called her something in the pods, and I'm like, I would not have accepted that as a joke. But anyway, but
he always seems so calculating.
He did?
Well, calculating when he's manipulative, first of all. But he was like, I hear you. Yes, you're right. Yes. And I'm like, he didn't stand up for himself. He was just trying to do everything he could to, you know what? You're right. I was wrong. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
I think he looked at her as a fetish. I'm just gonna say it. I think he literally fetishized her. That may not be a
Yeah,
word,
that's right.
but
Yeah,
I'm just thinking that
he
he
did.
looked at her as a fetish. Once he started getting into his whole like, I got the black in me, and now he's looking at her like, mm-hmm. Like that's gonna now officially validate me. Like if I get you, like you gonna be my fiance. Now, yeah, this is how it is. I just didn't like her. I'm gonna be honest with you. I would not be friends with her. I wouldn't associate with her.
Yeah.
There's just an air about her that I just did not like. She
Yeah.
just was not genuine. She was very like she's just
Condescending. She
ugh.
was just, and then the thing too, like with, she seemed extremely needy. Like when
Yeah.
she went into that whole thing about like, you know, remember in the pods when you say that you would bring me flowers, and she was right to call him out, but not a week after they just got back. I mean, it wasn't they just a couple of days out of the pods. I don't know what you wanted him to do, but she was like,
You're right.
why didn't I want you to live by your words. And if some person says that they're all about flowers,
You're right. No, that's exactly what he would be like. This. You know what, Shahidah? You're right. You're right.
mhm. And so when so she just seemed like she need way too much affirmation
Yes.
from him or anybody to feel like she's in a relationship. And also too, like when they were at the couple meetup, and he started, he's she should have known then, he started talking about all the women and
He's gonna
all
suck his
the,
dick. What are you thinking, dude? What are you thinking?
and why are
Yeah.
you telling this to another woman? Why are you telling that to another woman? That's not your wife. And she's sitting and she got home and go get a French fry.
Oh my God, he was a mess.
She didn't. She doesn't like him. Like you
He's a
said, Tanya.
mess.
So I
He's a.
don't know why she didn't just end it sooner.
I
And
can't wait.
honestly,
I can't wait to see the reunion on them.
oh yeah,
That
she's gonna be
with
a
them.
hot mess. But I didn't feel sorry for her
No,
at
not at
what
all.
he did. I didn't feel
Well,
sorry.
I
yes,
didn't because
but
first of all,
he was dishonest though.
she talked about the flowers.
Yeah,
It had to be all about her.
it
For
was.
me, it wasn't a needy thing. For me, it was like everything has to be all about me. I'm Monica. Everything has to be all about me. She harped on the flower thing. Then they were talking about the gifts, and she was talking about, I just need, you can say whatever, words or whatever, one thing, but I need actions. Flowers, flowers, flowers. And then she's like, and, you can get me like a YSL or a Louis. And then now I'm looking at her like, really? Like, why can't, if you really want a YSL bag or a Louis bag, go buy your own. Like, why do you need him to get it? And he's looking at her like, what's a YSL? Like, what is that? Like, he had no clue. Most men don't. But then she started like with the whole thing, like, even when they were going to bed, like, I think he wanted to like watch TV at some point. She
No, he
says,
was packing his
yeah,
clothes.
packing. And she's like, just get in bed so you can like cuddle with me. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ. So what the fuck was this? What? Just let the man do what he's doing. You button
Mhm.
all your buttons down the whole shirt. And he's like, yeah, because it packs better. And I'm just like, she's just looking at him. She does not like him. She didn't from the rip. And I'm glad that she found that test.
But I'm also always confused on then why continue with it if you really are trying to get. You know he's full of shit. She knows he's full of shit. She even told the other girls he's full of shit. Why are you still with him? Well,
Mhm.
are you trying to get? Why are you still with him? And yeah,
So she
exactly. Not
didn't know.
feeling bad for her for being so brokenhearted. I mean, it was fucked up on his part to even drag it that much, but she knew what she was getting herself into. He showed who he was. It was just a matter of time. We're all like, okay, it's a matter of time till some freaky shit's gonna come out where he's gonna talk about, can I be with another man and you, or can you have me? Can you just beat me? Something along those. Because he kept bringing up shit, sexual shit, all.
Mhm.
All
And
the
I'm not
time.
mad at him for not. He was being truthful because that's what he
And
would.
it's just discussed in the pods.
Right.
again, like it's like so much was missed. All right, I'm done
But it's
with
so
them.
hard. But it's so hard for me also to why go through to get married, to ask this woman to marry you, and her saying yes when she don't. I don't know.
I mean, come on. We already know why half of these people say yes now in 2024. It's all a clout game. I mean, and we're sucked in. We're watching it and we're sucked in. It is what it is. Half of these people, there for every one couple that makes it and is actually in love from each season, the rest, literally, the rest of them are just there to, you know, boost their TikTok followers and then get these brand deals. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. But we still keep watching, and I love it. So enough about them. I'm just glad, Steven, that you Venmoed Monica her money from your broke ass that lost your job, and she was covering y'all asses financially. And I did a little snap to Monica. I don't like her, but she got a little snap for me when she was like dead ass. So I've been carrying us for 2 weeks. So I'm gonna
Get
need
out your
you.
phone
I'm gonna need you to get out your phone and Venmo me my money.
now.
And you did.
And how come he had the money to Venmo? So you didn't have money to chip in, but you had money to Venmo all
Well,
the
here's
money that
the
I
thing:
was kicking in,
did he
and she didn't
really
even
Venmo
look.
her, or was it just did it really? Did he really have the
I
money
would
to
have
Venmo
checked.
her,
She didn't
or was it
even
a
check.
Yeah,
deceit?
she was like, ding.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna lead me to believe that she got her money.
I
And
think
how much was it? Because that
No,
didn't make sense to
we
me.
don't know,
That was
but
trash.
he sent
it
it.
was probably
So
petty too.
Yeah,
Probably a
I
petty
think it
amount.
was. I don't think it was that
Probably a
much
couple
because
$100.
yeah.
it's that. But anyway, who's next?
All right. So let's go to Marissa and Ramses.
Yeah.
I
See.
never liked him in the pods. I did not like him. You know what it is? Unlike her mother, who was very disrespectful and
Oof.
Her
disgusting,
mother was a
I didn't
bitch.
like his style. I didn't like his style, but that was no reason to degrade the man the way she did. So I wasn't really a fan of his from the beginning, and I was really shocked that she went with him. I thought she was going to pick the other guy. I was 100% sure she was going to
I
pick the
think it
other
was a
guy.
black thing, honestly.
I think it was too, which I was shocked because I actually ended up liking her more, not because of him, because I don't like him, but some of the things that she said about her blackness, following that made me like her more. But he really, to me, showed who he was about that condom situation in the military.
Yeah.
You,
Now,
you
You gonna ask them?
understood when you were in the pods with her what the military meant to her. And if you can't get and you her friends in military, she associates with the military, she loves the military. So you can't shit on the military because you're from Venezuela, and I get it. I get that you feel like, we as a country go to your country and just fucked it all up. I get it, but she's still in the military. She was in the military. And it's paying for her to go to law school.
I was gonna say, if
So
not
he was
the military,
disrespectful
where she's at.
on those two notes, especially the military, and then that condom situation.
That was
I was floored.
Yeah.
Floored. You don't want to get this girl pregnant. You're the one. She's okay. She'll get pregnant
right.
tomorrow.
Right.
But she's telling you, I'm not going to take the pill. Then it's on you. It's your
That's
responsibility
right.
at this point. And to come with that 16-year-old story about
That
it doesn't
doesn't
feel
feel
the
good.
same. There are a million condoms out there. Find the one that works for you, sir.
That's right. That's right. Aim. Listen, snap on that one, because you are absolutely 100 hit that shit on the nail. I legit flatlined when he, like you said, pulled that 16-year-old comment out of his fucking asshole, talking about it. I could wear a condom, but it don't feel the same. And I was like, what?
Then get her pregnant. Then take the risk.
Get her. That's right. Because
Because
go
she'd
get
have
her
to change her whole body chemistry.
have to listen. I got some kind of issues, some little bit of issues with Marissa, but very minute. But it's like she should not, no woman should ever have to go on a prescription medication to appease no man. Like you said, Shahidah, she'll get pregnant tonight because they like fucking. Period. Them motherfuckers be fucking. So at the end of the day, either you gonna get her pregnant or you're gonna go put a rubber on, bro. And if she goes
Very
and gets a
selfish of him.
swear to God, the next couple of episodes, if she goes and gets herself on birth control, I'm just gonna lose zero respect for her.
Yeah.
Girl, do your shit. You are a
Although
fucking
she stood up to her mother.
Yeah, she
like
did.
about that prenup situation, and she does seem to be. She's a beautiful girl, nice smile, giggly and happy, and everything else. But she is not a pushover.
No.
No. She's giddy. I kind of wrote down that Marissa is a girl. And this was before the contraception conversation. I was like, Marissa is a girl and Ramses is a grown man. Just in the conversations that they have, because the way it was her tone that was like throwing me off. Like she always has this like giddy. She seems childlike to me, whereas Ramses seems a little bit more adult to me. I lost zero respect for him. I mean, all respect for him when he brought up the condom thing, but I liked how he held his own with her family, because her mother was on some fucking petty ass baby mama. I had all these kids, now she mad. I was giving, it was giving bitter / jealousy.
Yeah.
Like you're bitter because you had these kids and they're baby daddies for whatever reason. You chose that motherfucker. You got it by him, and now he's not in your life, and now you had to raise these 4 kids. How many times did them kids have to listen to that shit all their life? I had to raise you 4 kids by myself.
She did seem like too bitter.
You seemed bitter.
Way
and
bitter.
Then also seemed jealous because her daughter found herself a man that they truly love each other. And her daughter also has a great career. Not from mommy. Daughter, Marissa, got her shit off of the U.S. goddamn military. That's why Marissa loves the goddamn military, because I would too if I was in Marissa's shoes. Mama didn't give Marissa her career, but the audacity of her mother to bring up the whole prenup thing. I would have laughed in her ass face. I would have laughed in that bitch's face and been like, bitch, really? What the? I can't believe you even know what a prenup is with your broke ass. That would have been some shit I would have said.
Yeah, she was very ignorant. Did not like
and the sister, Marissa's sister, kept trying to intervene to try to be the voice of reason.
Positive.
That's
I liked her, yeah.
As a mother, she should be ashamed of herself getting up there and showing her whole ass.
But the children did seem to have very positive attitudes. They all, like she said, they all graduated from college, probably to get away from her. So it's a good thing that a lot of her bitterness did not
rub off on them. Yeah.
Happy that it didn't rub off on them, because they didn't seem like her at all, and they were not entertaining her BS.
No, I did not like that mother. And even online last night and even today, I was online just reading the people's posts and stuff, and sadly there were a lot of women that were team Marissa's mother. Like Marissa should, like online saying Marissa should be ashamed of herself, for treating her mother like that. And
she was very respectful to her mother. She never raised her voice to her, never talked ugly to her. The only thing she said is that she said, "I will handle this." That's it. And that was her business.
And that's what people,
but she was not disrespectful.
Posting online, and they were saying that they were applauding her for telling Ramses if he screws her daughter over, she was going to cut his balls off or whatever the fuck she said. I was saying to myself, that's some tacky ass behavior. Like, who says that? Your daughter. I'm not a mother. But I'm like, if I had a daughter and my daughter's like, I want you to meet, this is the man that I picked, whether it be on Love is Blind, whether it be I met this man in the street, whether I met this man at the Whole Foods, whatever, the laundromat. I love him. I want to be with him. He makes me happy. I want you to meet him. The fact that your child is showing you the respect, giving you the respect to bring the person that they want to be with to meet you, that says a lot, because they want your respect and they want your acceptance. And for her to show up and slouch down in the chair, I was disgusted with her the minute she showed her ass up. She had that scowl on her face. She sat down in the chair, slumped over, and let me tell you something. She had nothing. She brought nothing positive to this.
Nothing positive.
No, she was. And
I hope she watches this.
Asked me what I would do as a parent on one of the if she did the show. I said the first thing I would say, I didn't watch all seasons. I know none of these people have seen this show. They never. Maybe they're contracted not to bring it up and act. Woo, surprise! But I'm not going to act surprised because you're not going to get me on TV looking stupid.
No.
If my daughter chooses to do it, then I support my child. And in supporting her child, if you all end up getting married, I support you because I know the importance of family support.
Yes.
But I also watch the show and I know the BS y'all in, and we get about to talk about some of that BS right now. But yes, her mother was horrible, and the way she acted, I hope she looks back on that and sees herself on TV and feels embarrassed.
I don't think she doesn't seem the type of person that would feel that way.
And she literally single-handedly put herself, literally affected the decision that's going to be made on the wedding day. Because if it were me, I could be looking at Ramses all goo-goo-eyed, right? Like, I love him. He makes me complete whatever. And then I meet your mother. And if this just flip the script, I'm Marissa, and if I have a Ramses next to me, and now I'm obsessed with you, and now I go meet your mother and siblings. The siblings are nice, but your mother is showing her ass. Do I want that as a mother-in-law? That would be the question I'd ask myself, and that's the question that Ramses needs to ask himself. Because by you marrying Marissa, now you done met the family. The siblings, will take them off the table because they were really, really good people. That mother, on the other hand, do you want to marry this woman and have to go to Christmas, Thanksgiving, Cinco de Mayo, any family christening, birthday from here on in, and you got to sit across from this fucking scowl? No, thank you. I would be. That would be
very important.
Marissa, no. I'd be like, baby, I love you. And if I was Ramses, I would go to my wedding and I'd be like, baby, no, I love you, but I can't say yes to you. And you know who you have to thank for that? Her that's sitting right there in the front row, all teeth, playing, fake mother-in-law, or sitting there with a scowl on her face, which I'm pretty sure if they get to the altar, she'll sit there with a scowl on her face. If I was Ramses, I'd blame mommy and be like, that's who you got to thank for you made my ass walking out of here, because this bitch ain't gonna
It depends too. I mean, because I feel like the way she handled her mother it wasn't like she coddled her or
what she said. The first thing she said
up to her.
The first thing she said to her was like, he's like, she needs therapy. That's the first thing Marissa said.
Exactly. So she knows who her mother is. So that wouldn't be a deterrent to me. Now, it's a whole different story when you have somebody who has a mother like that, and then they're constantly trying to please that mother. Then no, we can't do it because we can't live our life by what this person is saying. She doesn't seem that type. She's very independent.
Yeah. But I'm speaking for myself. That one instance, even if my fiance checked her, I don't need that. I don't need that.
Checking part is the most important part.
I'm also of a certain age. We're looking at people that are in their 20s, 30s. They're really starting their lives out. As a woman of age that I am, I'm looking at that like, yeah, that would be an absolute deal breaker. Whereas Tanya, back when she was 27, 28, 29, would probably have been like, okay, because that was me back then, like always trying to appease the man's parent. If I met the man's parents, I just want to be the.
Was the man sticking up for you? That's the difference. She was. Yeah. she's being independent and sticking up for herself. I'll be her husband to be
Yeah.
her fiance. So there's a difference when a man doesn't stick up for you in front of his parents or his, his mother, her mother. Then
Agree.
that's a big red flag.
Huge.
I agree with you. And I agree. Yeah, I'll give her that. She's stuck up for him, but
Mhm.
he also is a human being, and he also has the right, because that would be me. Even though my person stuck up for me, I'd still be looking at it as, do I really want to continue with this for the rest of my life? Because regardless, if we're around each other, mommy-in-law can say some sideways shit, and my husband is going to have my back. But do I really want to involve myself in that bullshit? I don't like
If
drama.
you're a
I don't
good
like
man,
bullshit. I gotta
a
bounce.
good man, it don't matter.
Yeah.
Who's next?
All right. Oof. Let's go with Alex and Tim. Well, you know who I'm saving the best for last for. Shit.
I
I know
know.
you are. I know you are.
Alex and Tim.
I
All
don't even
He,
have a
right.
whole lot to say, but
yeah,
Tim is better.
he's
A mean girl.
He is a mean girl.
Alex. I noticed
Please,
Alex.
okay, let him finish his thought.
Go ahead. I'm
What he
sorry.
was saying.
Go ahead.
no. I think he is. There's something about him that's an underlying, not anger, but
Mm.
Oh, I didn't get that.
It's too much trauma.
Which wait, we're talking about. We're talking
We're
about.
talking
He's too
about
rigid.
Alex and
No, I'm
Tim.
sorry. Not Tim. No. Um, well, no, He's got a little. He's very rigid. That's what it is. He's very rigid. Like when he says, "Well, I felt disrespected, and I'm going to leave, and if it's not like this," and he seems very
But
like
we
his
don't know the
stuff around his
argument.
house.
We don't know what the argument was about.
That
So
part.
it depends. I mean, like, but he also said from the very beginning, he doesn't like to argue. He doesn't like to get in that space,
Yeah.
because, and I agree with him, like, if you're in a relationship and it's that young, what are you arguing about that's so big? So if something was that big and it took him out of his character, he was right to say, you know what? Let me walk
But
away.
I don't even think the way it was posed, and I hope at reunion they show that shit, because
They have to.
I don't. I just thought it was crazy that when the next scene, we go from all the couples hanging out to the next scenes, all the couples going back to their rooms and having their little talk, and I'm like, we get to them, and I'm like, what the hell is fitting?
What
What's going?
happened?
What
Hmm.
Right.
happened? But here's the thing: that she always kind of like presented to me as being problematic. When she first came on, I was like, I don't think she's. I liked what she was
Mature.
saying, and I liked how she was talking, and I liked how she was acting. But there was something in my gut that was like that. I don't know if this is genuine with regards to her. And as soon as they got out them pods, she presented one way in the pods, and then when they got to the honeymoon, her whole demeanor, the switch flipped, where now she went from being like really soft and loving, she went to hardcore, like, now when they like, dude, you're on
Spoiled.
vacation, and
Spoiled.
he's putting on different hats, and you're like, yeah, no, it's giving me the ick. Nope, nope. And he's like, well, I like this one. He could have been playing with her, like, just to
But if he
see.
liked it, let that man like what he
Let
likes. You
him
can't
like what he
change
likes.
people like that.
Right.
Yeah.
She kept talking about his clothes, then the hat thing,
Mhm.
and then when it got to the fight that they had, I think what had happened was, obviously words was exchanged or whatever. She put her hands on him, because remember, it came out
Yeah,
that she put
she
her
did.
hands
She
over
did.
his
Oh
mouth.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, and he told her, like you said, Shahidah, he told her right off the rip, I am non-confrontational. I don't do confrontation like that. I think he was more upset when they had that little conversation on the couch. I think he was more off put, because he's like, he has this look on his face like, I already told her I don't like confrontation, and she showed her whole ass, basically. And then when she put her hand on his mouth, sometimes you just can't be touching people like that. I don't care if I'm in a relationship with you or not. There's some things you just can't do.
I've had a situation like that, and I got, even though I really care for the woman, and it was really very nice. We got in an argument one time, and she went like this and pushed my head,
Oh no, I
and
would slap
I
the
said, and I
shit out of her.
walked away from my own house. I walked away from my own house, and she's like, "What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?" And went like this, and I said, What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave." And I walked my house open, my car, and I walked down the street about a half an hour and waited until she left. And I said, "I can't be with a woman who would even remotely do that outside."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
So don't put your hand on anybody.
Mm-hmm.
never,
Never
never,
put your
ever.
hand on a damn. Do not put your hand on.
She comes
And
across very spoiled to me. And like you said, Tanya, she did represent herself. I mean, she knows that she can't lead with that. So she didn't lead with that in the pod. But when she came out, she was like, you know what? I'm cute enough to act the way that I really want to act, and just the tone in which she used,
yeah,
you could tell she's spoiled and selfish. And he, on the other hand, I don't feel like he is. I did feel like there was too much trauma. He needs therapy to get over the loss of his sister,
Yeah,
because I don't feel like if you're getting to know
sisters.
somebody, your sisters, you're getting to know somebody that shouldn't be every conversation. I don't want to be crying every time I talk to you. I would have said no for that, because he gave
Yeah,
me a headache. But
I
with her attitude was that she's a cute girl. She's a cute girl, and probably had a lot of guys that do whatever it is she asked them to do, but they weren't keepers. They're not around for the long haul because your attitude is so bad. Spoiled.
on top. Okay, I'm gonna have to backtrack, but you saying her attitude, and I said on top of the fact that she is a goddamn pig. You know cameras are coming into your house. You could have at least hired
That
somebody
man is.
real quick to pick up after your ass. Her house, her apartment was an absolute pigsty. You got shit clothes and shit all over the floor. I get it. If you got a lot of stuff because she is a content brand creator, whatever. So I'm assuming that she gets a lot of shit from companies that she posts online, whatever. Pick that shit up. If that is your job, if that is your career, you should have racks, them fashion show racks lined up against your wall. If you ain't got the closet space, have the racks and have everything hung up. You knew Netflix was coming. You knew Tim was coming. And you've already been to the man's house. And yes, he is regimented. But you know what? I ain't mad at that because I'm regimented. Everything has its space. I don't like chaos. In my house, everything has a space. If something's out of place, it's going in the trash. If I can't find a place for it, it's going in the trash. And depending on what it is, it's either getting sold or it's going in the trash. Period. So I get where Tim's coming from. But if I would have walked into her apartment and saw that shit, I would have been like,
yeah,
because
that was messed.
now I'm in the position of having to bring you into my
But
personal space.
also, but you have to understand also too, if that's who you are, that's who you are.
Good. I don't have to
Now,
be.
understandable if he said like that's not what I want, I can't deal with that. But she was like, "Look, this is me. I'm not going to try to clean up because that's not how I'm going to be." So at least she gave that as a genuine. That's who she is, and she's like, "Well, you got to take me or love me or leave me alone."
Well, she was using that on top of the fact she was also using her father because here's the thing. I get it. If you have a great listen, you can love your parents, but my parents ain't dictating how I live my life and who I fall in love with and who I spend the rest of my life with. Period.
But she's young.
I might ask your opinion, but you're not making the final decision. So I lost respect for her when she was like, she's all in this man's face, and then she's like, well, if my daddy don't like him, then we're done.
Yeah, but
I didn't like that. Sorry, but that's just me.
I don't know how truthful she was in that moment of
Yeah.
saying that.
Oh, she was truthful.
I don't think so. I mean,
I
because
do.
she talks a lot. She's
She does
young.
talk a lot.
She's stupid. I mean, I don't mean to say stupid, but I don't know how much of that she meant. And then,
He
knowing
didn't
her
even
father,
touch her father.
huh?
Remember, they had to perpetrate the fraud. Here was my
Yeah,
thing.
I would have did
Already,
I probably would have did the
you're
same
already
thing.
starting your life out on a lie. Like they did this whole thing at the apartment where the father, the mother, the two brothers was there. The mother and the brothers knew that they were engaged, so they did this whole elaborate bullshit for
But
the
her
father.
father is sick, and he
It
is a
doesn't
big
matter.
important. No, no, no. It does matter. It
No,
does
it
matter.
doesn't.
My father's sick. I'm bending over backwards to make it easier, no matter what the
Yeah, but
situation
you're
is.
not letting your sick father make the final decision.
She
She never said that her father was sick. I never heard that in the pods.
She did.
All
She
she kept
did. She
saying
said
was,
her mother and her father both had MS. Her father had her stepmother to take care of him, and then when her mother was diagnosed with MS, her boyfriend or husband left her.
Right.
We
"Yeah, you're
discussed
right on
that
that.
in the pod.
You're right. I
So
remember
I'm
that.
saying, like, what
Right.
she did about not wanting. I mean, and we've seen this in other
Iteration.
episodes too, with relationships where they said, I want to take. I want my father or my family to meet you first. I don't think that was unreasonable what she did. Now, had her father said I didn't like him, then we could see what would happen. But I don't think that she would have just dropped it at that one thing. I think that she would have tried to convince her father. Her father seemed very reasonable to me as well. Like,
Yeah.
he read that letter and he was their
Oh,
conversation was both
That was beautiful.
very
letter.
respectful.
That letter, that scene with that letter when I will say that that's what I wanted to get to.
Hmm.
I cried my eyeballs out when Tim read that letter to her father, and her father was just like, "You're my son." I was done. I love the father.
That was
I didn't see
beautiful.
the father.
But
I
he's
didn't see
sick.
the father being problematic at all once we saw him. So that's why I was just like,
Well,
"Oh,
I don't
But she
think
also can be building it up in her head too. And that's why she went through
true."
the whole scenario of, like, you know what, ask him first. And I respect that. I respect
Yeah.
that.
And you know what? You're right, Shahida, because again, I'm just bitter and I'll be that bitch. I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna own it. But I like I get it that that's her dad, even though he has MS and even though his mobility is limited, that's still her daddy. And she's as a daughter, I can only imagine the way I can't imagine, but she's looking at her dad like that's still my daddy, like my strong daddy that raised me up, what have you. So if he doesn't like you, I can't move forward with you. I get that.
well, yeah, but she said
But you're
that thing.
also just saying it. It
Yeah,
doesn't necessarily
you
mean
mean it. Yeah.
to the core.
Yeah.
I believed her when she said if her daddy said no, if her daddy wasn't feeling it, then I'm with this not going to work. She
And
said
I
that.
don't think her father would take that stance either, because if you
Right.
love your child 100%, you might not like the guy, but
Yeah,
you know what? This is what you decided to do, and you go
And
on.
that's what he said too. He's like,
yeah.
I just wanted to be happy.
Um,
Mhm.
So it's so interesting to see all the fathers and how important it is for them to like give their daughters away. Oof. Oh,
Exactly. So that's why I say I get 100% what
yeah,
she did.
yeah, yeah. I'm curious to see how that's going to work out. If you had
I
to
don't
ask me
see them
today,
together. I don't
I,
see.
I was going to say, if you had to ask me today, will they even make it to the altar? I'm going to be like, yeah, no,
Yeah,
I don't think
yeah.
so.
I don't see anybody making it to the altar but Taylor and Garrett.
You right on that one. I'm gonna have to.
so what do you?
Well, I mean, that's not saying they'll make. I think whatever the couples that are remaining will make it to the altar. But I think the only one saying yes, like you said, is Garrett and Taylor. That's it.
Mhm.
Everybody else done. So let's
I don't know
now.
about that. I don't know about that because I think the last one. I think they set us up for with Tim and what's her name? He's got the three. You want
No,
to
that's
break it down?
Tyler.
I mean Tyler.
That is now Ashley and Tyler. Tyler,
I still think
Tyler, if being a fraud, the audacity, and then some was a person, that would be Tyler.
I
Like
think
whole
I
list.
think what's going to come out is that he was a sperm donor, as they said. He's aware of the children, but he has no responsibility for the children. And I think his lack of omission, which was wrong, of telling he should at least have told her that, but in his mind, it's like it won't affect our life, our daily life, who we are as a couple. And I think that's what he was holding on to and saying, well, I should tell her at some point. But I don't think it was, I can't tell her this because then she's not going to. I think in his mind, he was like, it's not going to affect you. So what's the point of telling you now? That's what I think he's going to be thinking. And that's why I think they still have a chance to make it.
Have you been on the internet?
No.
Then you
Okay,
need,
that's why.
yeah,
That's why you think that.
that part.
Because that man is not a sperm donor.
Nope.
Not a sperm donor. He is very much so. He might not be paying child support, but he's very much so in their lives.
And them
And
kids call him daddy. Daddy.
hmm
And he lied of his
there's
whereabouts.
pictures and everything of
Everything.
them
His
together.
baby mama is on Instagram spilling all his tea. And he was engaged. Let's take the baby mama with them 3 kids off the table. He was engaged to a news reporter in DC,
Oh,
and
I
they
didn't know
put
that.
them pictures online of them with their engagement photos at the damn monument, the
Hmm.
DC monument, or right there where Abraham Lincoln's statue is. Oh yeah, he's a whole ass fraud, whole ass
Even
fraud.
I think his job description on the show
It's
changed
changed
like several
7
times.
times.
To what?
He's,
Okay, let me back it up just a little bit.
go ahead. Oh, let me get my
From
notes.
the pods until up until that point, I really liked them as a
I
couple.
did too.
I thought that they were. Ashley is simply gorgeous.
Oof, and her
Absolutely,
daddy.
with a great spirit to match the outside. She seems like a great
And
person.
she loves him.
And she did love him. And he showed, I mean, to me, I thought, oh, he'll be a great protector. He'll be a great partner.
Yeah.
He'll be a great husband to her. I really like them
Yeah.
together. And even though I knew, like right before that, that was coming out about the sperm donor, I still was like, you know what? I got to give him the benefit of the doubt. Something got to be around. Then I started seeing the pictures and him at Christmas and him teaching the boy how to ride a bike. I mean, sir, how could you not? And I want to fault Ashley for not asking that question because that should be a question that we ask. But I get how she took it for granted because when a man says to you, when we have children, not just one time, but every fucking day,
All the
every
fucking
other
time.
day, he was talking about the traditions we're gonna have, what their names are gonna
A
be,
son. Naming the son. Sir, you already have a son.
and not once mention. I mean, even if you said, you know what, I want to
I
have
should.
children with
I have to
you,
tell you
but
something.
you know what,
Yes.
I also have been a sperm donor for a lesbian couple that I knew. How do you not tell that person that for weeks? Unbelievable. That is the most, I feel like that is probably the
So
most hurtful thing I've ever seen on this show.
so since I haven't seen the internet, he has a relationship with one of these lesbian women.
One the one who's the baby's mama, because it was the first time I think it was a
He's a
sperm donor,
lesbian.
but the twins, the ex girlfriend or the ex wife of that woman said they had sex.
Yep. So he has a son. The oldest is the son, and then the two twin daughters. But you want to know what a real slap in the face to his children is? And when he said this shit, I was literally sitting in my chair yesterday, and when he said this shit, I cried my eyeballs out because my heart broke for the kids, because this shit is staying online
Chris,
forever. So he said to Ashley, I had to rewind and write this back. He said to Ashley, I thought I knew love, I had no clue. For me, that
that's
was
with the woman who's the
that was
mother.
a punch to my belly, because like, if you're a parent of not one, not two, but three goddamn kids, now you gonna tell some woman, I never knew what I thought I knew love, I had no clue. You didn't think you don't know love after you had these children? If she stays with him, she deserves everything she gets. She's
I
dumber
don't
than
think that
a
they're
cracker rock.
together. I don't think that they're together, but you just never know. It could be a shocker. But yeah, I think he's like the biggest villain we've seen.
The worst. Then she went to his. Remember, when Ashley called his dog her. Whenever she called his dog her stepchild, and I'm like, ma'am, don't worry about that dog. You got three whole human beings. That's about to be your stepchildren, and don't marry that motherfucker, because now your money is his money, meaning that she can sue your ass too for child support. Don't you say I do, boo boo.
That's
Yeah,
sad though, because
it was.
I really loved it. I thought he was genuine, and I was like, why are the black men doing this? Please, why are these? Even the semi-black men are doing bullshit.
It's the fuckery.
All the black
Hence,
men.
I'm always going to choose the fucking bear in the woods. Period. End of story. Me and the bear from here to eternity. I love you. Love is blind. Meet me at the goddamn altar, because I'm going to say yes to the bear always.
But
Because men
then
ain't
you
shit.
have to ask yourself too. Again, with these dating shows, Love is Blind. No vetting. What kind of vetting?
None,
I
apparently.
mean, you should know this much.
Yeah,
You
but
should know that man had no. He's close to those
Wait a
children.
minute, Chris.
All on wait a minute. All on his Instagram and everything. That all they had to do was a quick search to find out that
Very.
information, and then have to tell him this. You have to disclose this. You have to disclose this. You shouldn't be setting up
but
people
they
like that.
can't influence. They can't influence what people are going to say. They have to let them say, okay, well,
Listen to me.
let's hope
The
that she finds out
journalists
or asks the right
and all
question.
that tea
Wait, wait,
out
wait,
there.
wait, wait, wait. Let's make sure that they ask all the right. If she had asked the right questions, then it wouldn't have been a problem. Not a problem, but they wouldn't have been matched. But the show's responsibility is to make a show we want to watch. So the vetting part of it, that's some of it saying, okay, well, if they can't tell who's going to match up and who's not going to match up, because there's like eight or ten other people who maybe they found out some things about them that didn't match them up, so they didn't make it the final couple. But maybe if he had told her from the beginning, look, I don't know.
I
He
mean,
should
but
have. He
but
should
this
have said
dating
something. He
show.
should have said something.
Wait, what?
It's not a good look. At the end of the day, it's not a good look. I love watching these shows. Absolutely love it. Even though I know like half of it isn't really genuine, but I'm watching all this shit. But at the end of the day, it's like, how would you? I just yeah, we're done.
So what I'm saying is that we've seen other dating shows. Was it a Love Is Blind? No. What show did we watch? It was the Japanese show, and they had to disclose their children at certain times, though. So
Oh, I
what
forgot
was
the
that
name
show?
of
I
the show
can't
that we
remember what
watched.
it
It was
was.
based out of LA, but it was a Korean show.
Yeah, and they
But
had
I
to.
loved the fact that everything was kept secret.
But they had to give out the information
Right.
on certain weeks. Remember?
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
So I'm just saying Love is Blind could do something similar to that. I'm just
I,
saying you put this woman in a situation where she's open to marrying this person. And I get what you're saying, Chris, about asking the right questions. That's why I'm saying for now, going forward, every woman has to ask, do you have any children? Biological stepchildren, children that you might have fathered, that you are not in their life? Do you have anything that came from your body? Anyone that came from your body? That's the question. But on as far as Love is Blind, the company goes, you played with this woman just as badly as he did
Yes.
by not giving, not him,
But
not having
not
all
their
that.
responsibility to let her know information
Why is it
that
not their
she
responsibility
because
when they
she has to,
vet for
because if
things?
you fall in love with someone, you're in the pods with someone, you're asking questions, you need
Right.
to ask every question imaginable to make sure. The one question: do you have any kids?
But again, it's a
Do you
double
have
edged.
any kids?
But
If he
wait,
had
it's a
said,
double
if
edged
he
sword.
wait, Tanya,
The
wait,
name of
wait
the
a second,
show is Love is
let me
Blind.
finish, please. If you said, do you have any children? And he said, no, I don't, then they're in responsibility. But if she said, do you have any children? He's like, and then he said, well, yes, I do. Then Love is Blind is off the hook. But
Yeah.
it's her responsibility to ask the questions. They can't influence, because if they say to her, by the way, he has 3 kids, just so you know, we're not gonna get to this point where they're even gonna get married or even have a relationship to get beyond it. But if she had asked the question, I mean, they can have someone who's a firebomb or whatever, or has 3 kids, this and the other, and maybe he won't get picked. Maybe he said to someone else, do you have any kids? And he said, yeah, I have 3, and we'll never see that those other 8 couples or 5 couples that.
Yeah.
Had he met her family? Has she met his family? I don't. She didn't meet his family,
No,
so he met her dad. So she had.
So
So I'm
yeah, he met
thinking,
her dad. She hasn't met
right?
his.
So
Yeah.
he told her off camera. So maybe that was right before she was going to meet his
it
family.
was. It was.
Okay. So he knew that the bomb was
He has
about to
to. He
drop.
can't hide that. But it's not Love Is Blind's responsibility, is what I'm saying, to influence how she's going to
Well,
ask.
I'm not saying influence. I'm not saying
Yeah, but
that. I'm just.
if she tells him, if they tell him or tell her that he has kids, or that's influencing.
I, I get. I think
It's
we're
not their
just kind of
responsibility. It's
because
their
I
responsibility to have
feel
good
like
TV.
when this man started bringing up children, it was reasonable for her to assume he didn't have
Yeah,
any.
but she didn't ask the question.
I know, I get it. I'm just saying it was reasonable for her to assume that he didn't have one, and that's on her. I get what you're
It's
saying.
on her. It's on her.
She did, she didn't come out and ask the question, and going forward they have to. But I still say, I'm gonna die on this, that if you're doing a show and you have people who you should be checking for jobs, you should be checking for ex-wives, you should be checking for children. That's part of the whole vetting. Okay, so when you say you don't vet, then a person could have killed somebody when they were 16.
Yeah, but we don't know what they vetted and what they haven't vetted. All we see is the results of these ones in these specific programs. There could be 6 or 7 other people on there that have kids or don't have kids, that they disclose that have kids, that don't disclose that have kids. We don't know. We're seeing the results of only 5 of the matches out of, where there's 20 people, so
Mhm.
20 different matches. So, and we don't even see those other conversations where they could have, but they can't vet every single person to the point. I'm talking about to the point of the kids wise. If she asked the question, do you have kids? And he said, yes, I do. If he had said, no, I don't, that's another story. But it's up
But
to
here's
her.
okay. So here's what I'm thinking too, because again, the premise of the show, Love is Blind. So let's just say that Netflix did their due diligence and they vet everybody. But because of this day and age that we live in on TikTok and Instagram and whatever, that shit gets out. Like nothing is a secret anymore. So for all we know, Netflix could have known Tyler's situation and anybody else's situation, but they're not going to say that because the premise of the show is Love is Blind. Now, having said that, who's to say that the producers aren't talking to the, I shouldn't call them contestants, but the people like the Marissas and all of them that participate in the show and saying, we're just outside people watching. But who's to say that a producer couldn't have said to Alex or to Ashley, it's Love is Blind. So keyword blind. So don't be asking questions about, because
They know what it is. They know.
don't ask questions about finances,
Yeah, but they know that. You know.
kids,
Look,
because it's about Love is Blind.
if you know damn well you're going to try to get married or get engaged to someone, you ask every single goddamn question you can. And within 2 weeks, if you have 3, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours, I will know if you have a kid, unless you're lying. Do you have a kid? What do you do for a living? All the things that are concrete that you can prove one thing or another. But I
Yeah.
gotta ask those questions. She's gotta ask those questions. She never said she may have. Yes, he totally made it seem like he didn't. But she said, have you ever wanted kids?" Maybe if she said that, and he's like, "Well, yeah, I did." But you said,
That's not good enough. He would have been like, "Yeah, I'm talking about wanting kids with you."
yeah, but it's not Love Is Blind's responsibility. Is what I'm trying to say, to tell information if it's gonna change the outlook on them, because they want it for ratings. They want, well, that didn't work out, so that's why all these other couples that you may not see don't work
But this
out.
is what I'm saying, is that when I was watching it, even with Garrett and what's her name, Garrett and
Taylor,
Taylor.
Garrett and Taylor, it was like, again, I'm watching them in the pods, and I'm like, okay, it's Love Is Blind. It is, the name of the show is Love Is Blind.
But that's looks
And
it's
then
talking about, not all the
she
questions.
put out the ethnicity when she was like, and he kind of like, Garrett sat there on the couch like, well, I don't know how to take this, because she was like, well, I'm not going to tell you my mom. They were talking about their parents and
right?
shit. Well, I'm not going to tell you my mom's name because that'll just give my ethnicity away. Now, if I'm Garrett, which I knew that Garrett, when they showed Garrett, I was like, bro, I'm feeling this. My brain's doing the same thing your brain is doing. Like, okay, now I don't know. Now it's supposed to be Love Is Blind, but now I'm talking to somebody that obviously there's an ethnicity thing going on. That if you're going to tell me that, well, I'm not going to give you my mom's name because you'll know right off the rip what I am, like what my ethnicity is or whatever, or part of my ethnicity is. That it's just like, just why would you even say that? Like, it's Love Is Blind. Like, if we're gonna get into the race of it all, then it's not Love Is Blind anymore. Because I, as a woman, like, I wouldn't go on. I'd make no bones about it. I like what I like as far as the men that I date. So for me, I'm gonna make sure if I go on a reality show like a Love Is Blind or a Married at First Sight or whatever, I'm gonna be like, don't entertain this, and this, because that's just not my shtick. Even if I go on Love Is Blind,
But
so
I think you get okay when they're saying love is blind. It's about the physical appearance. You're supposed to get to know the person
right,
who. So you have to ask the questions about finances and all that because that's
The
part of
right
the thing.
questions. The
Right.
right
You have
question.
to ask those questions about, finances, home life, and everything. And like I said, there has to be a I don't know, maybe they need to take a questionnaire before they go into it and have like a strong list. And they need to add, do you have
yeah,
children to it at this point? Because he really played her with that whole,
in her,
when we
She
have
didn't ask the
children.
question. She didn't
It doesn't
ask him.
it doesn't matter
It
to
does
me
matter. That's the whole. That's the whole. If you're gonna,
because I
if
feel
you
like
put yourself,
they,
Sheeta, if you
no,
put yourself in a position to
no,
marry, wait, Tanya, let me finish. If you are putting yourself in a position to marry someone, to accept someone's proposal, you need to make sure by asking every questions, even if they don't seem, it seems obvious. Even if it's like, have you ever been married before? You were annulled. If he's lying, that's one thing. But if she asks him the direct question, even if he asks like, "Do you have any kids?" No, I don't. Of course not. Great. But I would have asked every single question, basic questions, before I even got
also
accepted
the
someone.
way he even presented to her with, I was a sperm donor. He's lying there. So even if she had said, do you have any kids, I guarantee you he would have found a way to lie about it, because he did, at that moment he was pretending like, these are not really mine. These are not really my children. I just donated sperm for these children. They're out in the world. They're out in the world, but I have no connection.
Mhm.
So again, I'm going back to, they I feel like they played in her face. And I feel like as
Did.
a show, he was so disrespectful and they couldn't even check it on him not to give her that information
They
somewhere.
can't give it to her. They can't give it to her because they can't influence it. They
Yeah.
can't give it to her. And we're
On that
talking about
geographic where
and
they
we're
don't
talking about
share
it too.
good
It's,
things
they don't
themselves.
care if they have successful marriages or bad marriages. They want us to talk about it, and that's what we're doing. That's the sad part about reality TV.
I have to disagree with that. But yeah, that was the saddest thing I've seen. The biggest villain that I have seen.
Yep.
The biggest villain that I have
Yeah, that
seen
was sad.
any of these shows
Yep.
because she was very much so into him. And
Mm-hmm.
to exclude that information, you can't say, even in the pod, if he had waited to the very last day, like right before he proposed to her or something, and said, "Look, I have to tell you this," but you can't wait on the eve
Yeah,
of going to meet your family and then
yeah,
saying that. That's horrible.
you're
That
right.
shows that you are a horrible human being.
That part.
And
Yep.
then, like I said, I was giving him the benefit of the doubt. Like maybe he really does not. Maybe it really is a sperm donor. But all these, sir, you were
Oh
involved.
my God. Can I just like interject real quick? I mean, come on. I'm going to just go scientific on it as a healthcare worker. Sperm donors don't announce that shit. Like if you're just donating sperm at a sperm bank, then you're just going and donating sperm at a sperm bank. This isn't conversations that's going to be had in the future. You're not going to know who the hell done got your sperm and how many children that were born off of it.
But
This
these are people that he knew and they asked him. And a lot of people do that.
I get that, but do people really want to be announcing that shit and be like the I know people that have donated sperm and eggs and whatever to help people, friends and relatives and shit that they know have babies. People aren't out there having them whole ass public conversations about it neither. So he gave his little gay friend some sperm. That's fine. And he could have had sex with the other one, which they say is true. But why are these kids calling you daddy? That's the problem I have with it. If you're a sperm donor, these kids, if you're just a donor, you're not daddy. And that's all I got to say about that.
Yep.
So he's a piece of shit liar. Yeah, I'm sorry, I
Yeah.
added more.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see
Yeah,
what happens.
he really said all the right things and just omitted the
Oh,
most
that's
important.
so sad. It was so sad because I was really excited about those two. I was like, okay, I
I think
see.
everybody was. I mean,
It's
it
so
was
disappointing.
Taylor Garrett and Ashley and Tyler. And
So
to go
disappointing.
out on something like that, that's it's
Disappointing.
very disappointing. Very disappointing.
Mm, mm, mm.
So the next week is going this week, Tuesday. Is it Tuesday or Wednesday? Wednesday.
Probably Wednesday, I think.
Oh,
Wednesday
say again.
is the are the weddings, right? Or the
Yeah.
dresses and
Yeah, it'll probably be dresses
yeah, I'm hoping,
and
I
bachelorette
hope
party.
Ashley walks away. But I really feel that she does because, looking at some of the internet chatter and he's been on a couple of podcasts, it doesn't seem like it.
I just need all of the marriages not to work or not to go to I do except Garrett and Taylor.
They don't
Major
even
pops
need,
off
yeah.
for them all the rest of them will be stupid as fuck to say I
Mhm.
do at the altar.
It's
Like
just
that.
sad. It's just so
Yeah.
sad.
It's a shit show.
You
And
know,
here we
But
I really wanted him to. God dang it!
they seem like a great couple.
I
They
know.
ate together. They
I
had fun
know.
together. It was
I know.
it is what it is. But
I know.
I'm gonna end it. We're gonna end it now. But Tanya and I are watching Love is Blind Habibi.
go.
I fucking love it.
Okay, I'm gonna watch that.
Love it. Please watch it.
I love it too. Please watch
All
it.
9 episodes are up, and then the 10th
Great.
episode is the reunion. So
Oof.
you can watch all 9
Did you
episodes.
watch all 9?
Oh yes, I did,
Did
sir.
you watch
I
it too?
I got my TV pause right now. I'm on episode 8, so I have to finish
Okay,
8.
okay.
I
I
watched the
watched.
whole thing in 2 days.
Okay.
So it was excellent. So until next time,
I know.
peace out.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.